And welcome to another edition of Talkline. I'm Zev Brenner, coming to you from the 18th Annual Emunah Commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU Kimmel Center in Manhattan. We'll be right back with our very special broadcast right after these messages. Stay tuned.
The Hebrew University of Jerusalem is a monument to more than 20 centuries of Jewish reverence for learning, to the Jewish quest for knowledge, as exemplified by its founders, who included Albert Einstein, Chaim Weizmann, and Sigmund Freud. Today, the Hebrew University has rewarded the vision of those founders. It's the top-ranked educational institution in Israel, and the leading developer of Israel's greatest asset, its brainpower. Israel is a tiny country, smaller than New Jersey, with only 0.1% of the world's population and virtually no natural resources. However, in intellectual achievement, it has very few peers. Per capita, it has the highest ratio of university degrees in the world. It's first in the world in biotech startups and first in the number of scientific papers produced. This is Israel's brainpower at work. And the leading generator of that brain power is the Hebrew University of Jerusalem.
Ow! Can you read my number?
Attention those on Medicare with diabetes. You may be eligible for an upgraded meter.
I am tired of stabbing my fingertips to test my blood glucose. There has got to be a better way.
If you're on Medicare with diabetes, then you need to know there's a new method for checking your blood glucose. You don't need to stab your fingertips anymore. This new Embrace meter is easier to use and nearly painless. And the best news is that Diabetes Care Club will send you one of these new meters.
This new method hurts less, and I don't have to stab my fingertips anymore.
Not only can I see my number, I can hear it too.
Your blood glucose reading is 89.
There's my number.
Find out why nearly 250,000 patients have joined Diabetes Care Club.
Call Diabetes Care Club.
Shipping is free, and so is the call.
Call 1-800-521-7697.
I'm glad I did.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner, coming to you from Emunah's 18th Annual Commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU.
My name is Cecilia Margolis. I am chairman, together with Doris Hirsch, of the Yossi Berger Holocaust Study Center of Jerusalem, founded by Emunah in 1987. The center was established to remember those who perished in the Shoah, to remind us of our tragic, not too distant past, to be vigilant of all bigotry and anti-Semitism as it occurs, and finally, to teach and protect our future generations.
On my right, Marcia Ganuta, past president of Emunah, and Shirley Singer, executive vice president of Emunah. Good to see you both here. Wonderful event tonight, Marcia.
Absolutely fabulous. We just were very, very moved by all the speakers, by the production, by the music, and we just felt that it tells the story of our history and how important it is for us to remember our history. And Emunah is an organization that takes the history of the Jewish people and takes it forward. And from the crisis and from the darkness of the Shoah, we have come to Israel, and from the beginning of the state, we started to work with all of the refugees who came to Israel. Our absorption centers were so important to the settling of the refugees in Israel. And from that time on, we have constantly opened various programs to help build the country, to train the young, and to just produce a generation that will never forget, and at the same time continue to build the nation and make Israel the strong and powerful and a Jewish state that it is today.
No, wonderful. And Shirley, I know for so many years, in fact, I was with you with Emunah many years ago, and it was a wonderful mission. I'm sure you're doing a lot more important work. Even then was important, but a lot more varied work today.
It is a pleasure to work with the wonderful volunteers such as Marcia Ganut and Sylvia Rosencrantz, who received the special award tonight. And unfortunately, she couldn't be here, but she has produced for the past 30 years Holocaust newsletter, which made people aware of what took place during the crucial years in the 40s, when people in America, like myself, were not aware of what happened and what was happening. So we were grateful to the volunteers of Emunah for bringing it to the world's attention, for establishing all these wonderful homes in Israel, and the kol kavod to people like Marcia, who has volunteered since she retired as a school teacher, remedial reading school teacher, and we need more people like Marcia.
And you too, Shirley. Thank you, both of you, for the important work you're doing in the many years of service, not only to Emunah, but to the Jewish people. Chaya Shapiro from Queens is a second generation.
I am a second generation survivor.
Tell us about your mother's experience.
My mother, Sarah Lieberman, was one of 7 kids. 5 out of them perished. She was lucky. She was 11 years old in Poland when they came to take him out of the house. She was lucky. She was not at home at that time, but she saw them taken, so she hid. Somehow she, her father, who was also out of the house, managed to bring it to a Polish family, paid a lot of gold, so they would hold her for a while. After that while, he decided to, and they didn't really keep her in a nice place also. She was full of lice, and she had to be in a barn. And at one point he was afraid to leave her there, and he said, okay, you have to go. And no food, no nothing. And he had fed her with, they threw like a dry piece of bread, and that was it. At one point he said, you gotta go, because I'm afraid for my life. And this little kid had the sense to say to him, I will go, but then if the German will get me, they'll know that I was saved by you, and therefore they will kill you. He had no choice but keeping her still there. But he tried to starve her to death. And she would tell stories, which is amazing, about Hashgacha, about Emunah, how
Divine providence.
Divine providence, where she loves birds, because a bird would come and sing to her, so she was not alone. Or a chicken came every morning to lay an egg for her, and that's how she survived. And the egg and the song of the bird, and the piece of dry bread whenever he felt like dropping in her corner, wherever she
helped her survive.
To help her survive at that time.
Did you grow up hearing these stories?
I'm sorry?
Did you grow up hearing the stories?
I had to really squeeze it out of her. She did not talk. I had that obsession for still am, looking for survivors, for surviving relatives, because she didn't have any. They were burned in Treblinka. So I always looked at books, at memoirs of little kids, and I tried to find some kids who survived. Maybe there would be a brother or sister or cousin, because I was yearning myself for some relative myself. I feel that I am a victim.
You are.
I am absolutely.
You're also a survivor.
I am a survivor.
Even though we call you second generation, you're really a survivor.
The way I was raised, I am a survivor.
Anybody who is, any Jew alive today really survived Hitler's machine.
And still, my children are also survivors. They're not as...
Have you shared with your children the stories?
My daughter, in fact, is named after my grandmother, so she will remember. My grandmother Pearl, from her home, her maiden name was Duman, and she was Lieberman after my marriage. And I told my daughter, Dana, about her grandma, about the great-grandmother, and that's what she's named, she's Pearl Shapiro, so she'll know that Pearl, and so she'll be able to ask me questions, so I will tell her whatever I know, so that we cannot forget. But the thing is, even my kids cannot be easygoing kids. They cannot be lightheaded, because they are survivors too. The way we think and the way we pass it on to them is something that normal kids do not have.
But it's important to do that.
But in a way we are, the way we are, neurotic that we are, nervous that we are, more overprotective that we are, it's all because we are definitely victims of, but we're stronger. And we are not going to let anything happen. And we will fight.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Okay.
My grandfather, Alexander Sedlis, and my grandmother, Amelia Sedlis, survived the war after the Vilna Ghetto and escaped to Rome, where they attended medical school. They escaped with my great-grandfather, Dr. Elias Sedlis, and my great-grandmother, Genia Zeldovich. My two other great-grandparents, David and Anna, were lost in the war. I also lost my two great-great-grandmothers, Luba and Sonia. My grandparents survived the war along with my great-uncle Gabik, who fought with the Vilna partisans.
Good to see familiar faces. Shani Heiken, Executive Vice President of the Jerusalem Reclamation Project. Good to see you here tonight.
Hi, Zev. How are you? Good to be here. A very moving evening. Everybody should have been here to bear witness to survivors, to the legacy of courage, and to what so many of our beloved people went through those horrible, horrible years of devastation. And as a daughter of someone who came to America before the week after Kristallnacht from Germany, and as the daughter of a wonderful tzaddik of a father who left Lithuania in 1933 and whose whole family was destroyed in the forest of Utian in Lithuania, it's very meaningful to me. In fact, Zev, that part of the program was devoted to Chana Senesh. My father carried in his wallet in 1947 when he met my mother. He showed a picture of a brave young woman who left Palestine, our homeland, Eretz Yisrael. She left Palestine and parachuted into Europe, was eventually caught, tortured, and died for her people, a real Kiddush Hashem, Chana Senesh. That was my father's hero, and that's who informed my father and who teaches all of us what courage is, along with these amazing survivors that we heard from tonight. It's incumbent upon us. It's our duty to remember and to believe that Hashem will watch over the Jewish people in our land forever and ever.
And He will. And thanks to work of people such as yourself, the important work that you're doing to making sure that everybody remembers that.
And a special tribute to my wonderful, fabulous friend, Cecilia Margolis, who takes all of this talent and challenges her music and her thoughts in such a beautiful way to promote Jewish rights and to remember, to keep this mitzvah of Zachor.
And every year she managed to do something different that's inspiring and really very impressive.
And it's a privilege to count Cecilia as a wonderful friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zev.
We'll be right back with our very special broadcast originating from Emunah's 18th annual commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU.
Kosher Expeditions operates year-round tours with delicious glatt kosher cuisine cooked fresh on site to over 30 of the world's most exotic destinations. Relax at our 7-year-running Passover holiday adventure at our Kosher LePesach luxury beachside resort in Costa Rica. Breathtaking ocean views, exotic wildlife, inspiring lectures, children's programming, and exciting Costa Rican adventure tours during Chol Hamoed. Come tour with the most established kosher tour operator since 1994. Call Kosher Expeditions at 877-JT-KOSHER, kosherexpeditions.com, the source for exciting worldwide kosher adventure.
Ow! Can you read my number?
Attention those on Medicare with diabetes. You may be eligible for an upgraded meter.
I am tired of stabbing my fingertips to test my blood glucose. There has got to be a better way.
If you're on Medicare with diabetes, then you need to know there's a new method for checking your blood glucose. You don't need to stab your fingertips anymore. This new Embrace meter is easier to use and nearly painless. And the best news is that Diabetes Care Club will send you one of these new meters.
This new method hurts less, and I don't have to stab my fingertips anymore.
Not only can I see my number, I can hear it too.
Your blood glucose reading is 89.
There's my number.
Find out why nearly 250,000 patients have joined Diabetes Care Club.
Call Diabetes Care Club.
Shipping is free, and so is the call.
Call 1-800-521-7697.
I'm glad I did.
Is getting a good night's sleep getting impossible? Well, not anymore. Introducing Side Sleeper Pro. It's much more than a good night's sleep. The secret is Side Sleeper Pro's doctor-developed ergonomic patented design to help support the neck and spine. Here's how it works. Watch as Side Sleeper Pro guides your head, neck, and vertebrae into natural alignment, relieving pressure on the neck while unrestricting airways. The tail cradles your back to ensure correct posture. Now, you can wake with less stiffness and feel rested thanks to to improve sleep posture. Side Sleeper Pro is only $39.99 and it's guaranteed to work. But wait, order right now and we'll cut the price to $19.99. Plus, order now and we'll include a washable cotton pillowcase for free. Order online at sidesleeperpro.com. And we'll include an inflatable travel pillow, perfect for when you're on the go. For only $19.99, you'll get the Side Sleeper Pro pillowcase and travel pillow, a $100 value. But you must order now.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner, coming to you from Emunah's 18th annual commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU.
אני מאמין באמונה שלמה ואף על פי שישמח עם כל זה אחכה לו בכל יום שיבוא.
There were pogroms. They came on horseback. They kicked, they ransacked, they killed. The Inquisition tried to convert us. The torture, the rack, the pain. Then came Hitler, went a step further, tried to erase our name. Almost succeeded. Killed 6 million, but he couldn't dim our flame.
יפל שישמח עם כל זה אחכה לו בכל יום שיבוא ויפל שישמח עם כל זה אחכה לו בכל יום שיבוא. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח. אני מאמין אף על פי שישמח עם כל זה אחכה לו בכל יום שיבוא. ואף על פי שישמח עם כל זה אחכה לו בכל יום שיבוא. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח. אני
Beryl Teitelbaum on my left, C. Lansbaum on my right. Very talented musicians, and thank you for being part of a special program tonight.
Thank you. I mean, this was absolutely beautiful. You know, I came in here, I didn't know what was going to happen. I knew it was a Holocaust memorial thing, and I was sitting up there waiting to sing, and I couldn't believe what I was saying. It was so beautiful, honoring these people. Amazing.
You sang beautifully tonight, by the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really am honored to have sang here. And Yitzi Spinner is here as well, one of our singers. So
We're going to get him in just a moment or so. We're trying to see Lansbaum, very, very well known.
Yes, and it's an honor for me as well. Both of my parents were Holocaust survivors, and sadly my grandfather from my father's side was shot and killed, and I have many stories, and it's just opportunity to connect, and we want people to never forget, and it was special. It brought me to tears, this program.
I know the first time you were at the commemoration for Emunah, but John both did a great job tonight. Beryl Teilbaum on my left joined us again, and Yitzhak Shem Tov, he helped put everything together tonight, the musical arrangements. I understand it's a massive undertaking, but a wonderful job.
Thank you.
So tell us about what I'm sure people watched it tonight and seeing it on our program. It looks seamlessly, but a lot of work and effort, so tell us about it.
Wow, what I can tell. Had a short time to work on it. I had beautiful musicians around me. You saw them on the stage, and that's it. That's what I can tell. The music
Moved you.
composed and written by Cecilia, and it's beautiful, and I had a pleasure to work on it. That's what I can say.
How'd you find working with Yitzhak?
Well, first of all, Yitzhak's not going to say much because he's a humble person. But, I mean, this man was there, 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, working on the music, recording, dealing with me, dealing with the singers, dealing with Cecilia. Me and Yitzi, the other singer, had never met before this concert, and he had to deal with all that and all those things. And obviously the songs are beautiful, but he put this all together. And he's a brilliant sound engineer, and it was just an honor to work with him and a pleasure. And I've worked with a lot of people in the past, but working with Yitzhak was amazing because he was just so easygoing, and so it was all about getting, he's laughing, it was all about getting, this beautiful message, to the people that I didn't know about. I didn't know what this event was really going to be, and he did. He had a vision for it, and he just made it happen, and it was just a pleasure.
Well, you did a wonderful job, and you did it very quickly, too, I understand, right?
Thank you, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with our very special broadcast originating from Emunah's 18th annual commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU.
You won't find someone who loves Sharf Satara Avot more than me. The staff here is wonderful. They treat him like a friend. Mr. and Mrs. Sharf have helped me so many times. Anytime I had a question, they were like the first people I would call, and it was like calling, a good friend that gave you advice from the heart.
As soon as I walked into Sharf Satara Avot, I said, this is it for my mother. Everybody was so lovely and warm, and there were so many activities, and I saw this atmosphere, this ambience immediately.
Everybody and anybody in the neighborhood walks in all the time to visit, to cheer up the people, to have nachas, to see a place run so well.
A lot of people don't know this about my mother. She ran facilities in Ohio for senior citizens. I think that this is God rewarding her now, being in a place where she's having such good care.
My parents really needed someone to give them the love that this place was able to give them.
We pledge to preserve their memory. For over 50 years, Yad Vashem has collected millions of Holocaust victims' names. But many are still missing. The central database of Shoah victims' names is now on the internet. This is a race against time. Visit the site today and submit unrecorded names so they will always be remembered.
Kosher Expeditions operates year-round tours with delicious glatt kosher cuisine cooked fresh on site to over 30 of the world's most exotic destinations. Relax at our 7-year running Passover holiday adventure at our Kosher LePesach luxury beachside resort in Costa Rica. Breathtaking ocean views, exotic wildlife, inspiring lectures, children's programming, and exciting Costa Rican adventure tours during Chol Hamoed. Come tour with the most established kosher tour operator since 1994. Call Kosher Expeditions at 877-JT-KOSHER, kosherexpeditions.com, the source for exciting worldwide kosher adventure.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner, coming to you from Emunah's 18th annual commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU.
As we reflect today on the human capacity for evil and our shared obligation to defy it, we're also reminded of the human capacity for good. For amidst the acts of cruelty that took place here, we know that there were many acts of courage and kindness as well. The prisoners who organized a special effort to protect the children here, sheltering them from work and giving them extra food. When the American GIs arrived, they were astonished to find more than 900 children still alive.
שלום, שמי נפתלי פירסט, אני בן 12 שנה ואינני יודע איפה ההורים שלי. אינני יודע מי מהם חי ומי מת. אני כאן בבוכנוולד בצריף 66.
There was an underground at Buchenwald. This underground, since 1942, had been in control of the internal administration of the camp.
Political prisoners had to make a decision whom to save.
To place a large number of boys then coming down deep in the little camp in a new barrack, Barrack 66. This was a very tightly controlled, mentored, and disciplined operation in which the Communist Underground managed a huge number of boys.
Andere Blicke in Auschwitz oder in Birkenau, böse Blockälteste, eine fast, sagen wir, väterliche Beziehung.
אני בן 15, היינו 29 בני משפחה, עכשיו אנחנו 3.
Block 66 is a heartbreaking story because Block 66 is part of the little camp. And the little camp is the death zone of Buchenwald concentration camp.
It was a place of mud and dirt and crowding, and the life chances here were significantly lower.
They took us to a railroad station. It was very cold, and in the beginning, there was really no laying down space. So the best you could do is you could sit down, and when you woke up in the morning, you saw the person that you saw there the night before died. By the end, we actually were sleeping on the dead bodies underneath us.
Over the loudspeaker, there was an announcement that all the Jews should report to the apple plots. And everybody hearing that knew what it meant. But in the Barrack 66, Gustav Schiller stood up on a table and he told the boys, you are not to report. And not one single boy went to the apple plots.
To this day, there are those who insist that the Holocaust never happened. A denial of fact and truth that is baseless and ignorant and hateful. This place is the ultimate rebuke to such thoughts. A reminder of our duty to confront those who would tell lies about our history.
On my right, Stephen Moskowitz. He's together with Brad Roach on the left. They're putting together a wonderful movie about not only the Holocaust, but about Stephen's dad, Alex. And I want to welcome both of you. And really powerful. The clip that we saw tonight, we're going to show part of it on our program. That was powerful. So let me begin with you. Tell us about your father.
My father's an amazing man, he just turned 80 a week ago, and he has led a great life. He was orphaned at the age of 14 when he was liberated from Buchenwald, and he got himself to America on his own, and he worked. He met my mother. He had a family.
And he won 10 Emmy Awards?
He won 11 Emmys.
11 Emmys. Wow. Wow.
Sports, yep, and wide world of sports. And one of the biggest moments when you talk about terrible things that have happened, he was at the Munich Olympics, when the Israelis were taken hostage and murdered at the Munich Olympics in 1972. So he was there and part of that coverage.
He must have gone crazy when he saw that.
My mother was freaking out when we were watching here in New York, watching on television, yeah.
He must have relived the horrible years of what he went through.
Yes, he did, absolutely.
And in your movie, you actually go back to Buchenwald.
We do go back to Buchenwald. We were there in 2010 for the 65th anniversary of the liberation, and we went back and with all 4 of the men that we feature in this film, and it was an amazing experience.
Brad Rothschild, the executive director, producer of the film. Tell us how you got involved.
Well, Steve and I have worked together for a few years, and last year he told me he was making this film about his father and for his father, and about the efforts to save children at Buchenwald. And I said, Steve, what can I do to help? This is a story that's really...
I never even knew that there was a movement within Buchenwald to save the children.
That's right. This was a conspiracy to save the children.
Conspiracy by the underground, not by the Nazis.
No, not by the Nazis, by the underground. That when the death marches were occurring at the end of 1944 and beginning of 1945, the underground saw that there were many young boys who were arriving in Buchenwald, along with the tens of thousands of other Jews. And they looked at these boys and they saw hope, and they saw hope for the future, and they said, we have to do something to save them. So what did they do? They put them in the most disgusting part of the camp, in a special barrack. Why did they put them there? Because it was a place where even the SS wouldn't go. It was the quarantine section of the camp. It was disease-ridden, and the SS didn't want to go in there, and they thought that this would be the best place where they could...
and it worked.
Boys. That's right. 904 boys walked out on Liberation Day.
Can't wait to see Block 66. Thank you for bringing your father's story. 11 Emmy Awards. Wow.
Can I mention the website for the film?
Sure, absolutely.
Sure. It's www.kinderblock66thefilm.com, and there's a trailer on there and information about the film. And and we'll keep updating it. We should be released at the end of this year.
And we hope you'll come back to give us some more extensive interview when the film comes out, so we can share. It's a powerful story. I was unaware of it. I think more people should know about what transpired and what took place. Thank you for bringing it to light.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yitzi Spinner joined us also, vocalist on tonight's program. So thank you for joining us. And I'm sure it was a very emotionally charged evening for you.
It really was. As I was just commenting to some of the people before. During the pre-production stages of this, we handled the music end, but really not much else that was going on. And
did you see the visuals beforehand?
We did not, and I really found myself just drawn to the screen behind me while we were singing, because it was a very moving program that we didn't get to see those angles beforehand, but it was really really great to.
Right, it seemed like everybody meshed well together, and
yeah, it's really an honor to work with a lot of talented people who everything just comes together very seamlessly when they have that experience behind them. It works.
And you have CDs, DVDs out.
I can I can be found if need be.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll be right back with our very special broadcast originating from Emunah's 18th annual commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU.
Mixture Productions proudly presents the Yiddio Video Show, a weekly half-hour show featuring a variety of Jewish music videos hosted by Saul. Catch your favorite Jewish music stars every week on the Time Warner Manhattan Channel 35, Fridays 10:30 to 11 a.m. and Sundays 4:30 to 5 p.m., part of the Talkline Communications Network.
Yad Vashem's central database of Shoah victims' names is now on the internet. This is a race against time. Visit the site today and submit unrecorded names, so they will always be remembered.
Hello, my name is Tova Feldshuh, and I've played many roles in my career, including Prime Minister Golda Meir. Like you, I've watched the news and felt helpless as the Katyusha rockets brought death and destruction to Israel's north. Rockets being launched from Gaza also threaten Israeli communities, but there is something we can do. Make a contribution today to American Friends of Magan David Adom Code Red Emergency Campaign. Go to www.afmda.org and help save lives in Israel.
Agent MS is the great new video series for Jewish kids that educates while it entertains. Shimmy Epstein is a typical yeshiva boy, but when the forces of evil strike, led by their fiendish leader, Dr. Lotov, Shimmy transforms into the awesome Agent MS. The Forward recommends Agent MS as a perfect gift, reporting that in their experience, kids just eat it up. Agent MS is now out in 3 great episodes. Find it in your local Judaica store, or check out their website at agent-ms.com, or call 1-888-MS-123.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner, coming to you from Emunah's 18th annual commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU.
Chief Rabbi Sir Jonathan Sacks said that when bad things happen, we can react either by doing nothing or by having the strength and courage to act. Tonight, we pay tribute to survivors of the Shoah and to those who had the courage to act and to risk their lives to save others. They are true heroes. All of our honorees have witnessed and endured the worst of inhumanity. The survivors somehow found the courage and strength to build and rebuild their lives and their communities. They have not just survived, they have thrived. The righteous Gentiles who had the courage and conscience to care ensured that the people that they saved would have the opportunity not only to survive, but to fulfill their dreams. The survivors and their rescuers recognized their responsibility to build a future by helping others. That is exactly what Emunah does and has done for more than 60 years, building and rebuilding the lives of children and families in need in our 5 children's residential homes for abused and abandoned children, our emergency baby shelter, our family crisis and counseling centers, our rescue program for teenage girls, our College of Art and Technology, and in the 250 Emunah programs throughout Israel. Like our honorees, Emunah knows the importance of saving lives and that we cannot afford to lose another generation.
It's always a pleasure to see Mindy Stein as National President of Emunah, and another really, I think, an outstanding presentation about the Holocaust, but put together by Emunah.
It's always wonderful. Cecilia is great, is very talented. Extremely talented. And every year we have the pleasure of having her do this for Emunah. And as I said in my speech, we understand from Emunah that we cannot lose another generation, and we must save the children and families and have a strong, independent Jewish state of Israel. So just like the Holocaust had people thought we lost a generation, we cannot lose another generation.
And what's nice over here is that the commemoration this evening had a lot of young people. And this was, of course, at NYU, but we saw a lot of students, a lot of college kids that were here. And the thing that's important, because we take for granted that we know what the Holocaust, but I meet a lot of people that don't know, including Jews.
It was a different venue this year, and I'm very glad we did it. We met with the students from NYU beforehand, and I think it was a very good coordination of talent and thoughts and ideas, and I was very happy that we changed the venue because, like you said, I think it's very important for students to realize, to remember the Holocaust and to continue to realize that the Jewish state is very important.
Mindy Stein, National President of Emunah, thank you for being with us again.
Thank you very much.
Brian Bergman is a survivor of many camps. He's an awardee at tonight's Emunah event. So good to have you. Tell us about where you were during the dark years of the Holocaust. Which camps?
I was the entire time in Poland, in several labor camps, in 2 ghettos, Lodz and Warsaw. I also took part in the Warsaw Uprising, fighting the Germans. I also was a partisan fighter in a forest.
Which group?
With a Polish group, not Jewish, Narodowe Siły Zbrojne. This was a group that was very anti-Semitic. Had they known that I'm Jewish, they would have
killed you, probably.
Killed me with their own bare hands. But we did fight the Germans, and our unit, by the way, was decimated by the Germans. And I and another person from my platoon survived, and we were given a recommendation to a Polish person in a different city of Częstochowa. And I arrived there and I was hidden for 3 weeks, and then was given a letter, oral letter of recommendation to Krakow to join another unit. And I was picked up, they were waiting for me at the railroad station, Gestapo, and they put me in a Gestapo prison called Montelupi. Everybody in Poland knows the Montelupi prison, the Gestapo prison, which is the equivalent probably of Sing Sing in the United States. I was discovered there that I'm Jewish. I was read my execution time, which was supposed to happen the following evening because I had to stand in line to be executed. There were other people ahead of me. And there were executions taking place every evening. There was a wall in the back of the prison, inside, where people were executed. And I managed, I don't know how, but I escaped from the Gestapo prison, and that's one of my biggest accomplishments.
Wow. I'm sure you can write. Did you write a book about it?
No, but I'm in a
What are you waiting for?
I signed a contract, and I'm now in the process of doing it.
Before I let you go, you mentioned you were part of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. Tell us about that, how it happened, what your role was.
Well, there were 2 Warsaw uprisings. One, the Jewish one. I escaped from the ghetto shortly before it began.
Before the Jewish one?
Before the Jewish uprising began. However, I saw the entire process, the entire uprising from across the street, insinuating that I'm a Christian. I assumed a false identity, and I...
Where'd you get the false identity from?
I secured it by buying false papers which were issued, and I didn't know it at the time, by the Gestapo. The Gestapo was issuing false papers to people who were trying to hide their identity, either Jews or escapees from prisons. And when they had enough people, like 500, they would then go from one to the other, together with the Polish police, and they would demand money. When they came to a point, there comes a point where you had no more money to pay, then they executed you. Well, when it came to me, I was blackmailed for a time by the Polish police, and lucky for me, the Polish uprising broke out in August 1st, 1944. I then accidentally and gleefully and enthusiastically joined, and I was assigned to a platoon, a fighting platoon, where we fought the Germans very actively. Again, I was a very lucky person. My platoon was killed. There were 3 tanks. We were fighting with knives, sticks, and one guy had a revolver, another one had a rifle. So we had no chance. I don't know how it happened that they did not kill me. And I managed to escape from my position, which was a trench, that was in Czerniaków, which is the part of Warsaw at the time. And I marched my way to the neighboring forest, which is called the Chojnowski Forest. And there I was picked up by a group of people which were Polish partisans, Polish nationalist partisans. And they were called the Narodowe Siły Zbrojne. Translated in English, it's the National Armed Forces. I joined them, and I was assigned to a platoon, and we were in that forest as partisans fighting the Germans. And again, in one of those fights, most of us got killed. I don't know how I survived, but I'm alive.
God.
Must be.
Anyway, thank you for sharing that with us. When is the book going to come out?
I don't know.
And the movie? You're going to star in the movie?
No.
We'll be right back with our very special broadcast originating from Emunah's 18th annual commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU.
You won't find someone who loves Sheriff Satara more than me. The staff here is wonderful. They treat him like a friend. Mr. and Mrs. Shar have helped me so many times. Anytime I had a question, they were like the first people I would call, and it was like calling, you know, a good friend that gave you advice from the heart.
As soon as I walked into Shar Sateret, I said, this is it for my mother. Everybody was so lovely and warm, and there were so many activities, and I saw this atmosphere, this ambience immediately.
Everybody and anybody in the neighborhood walks in all the time to visit, to cheer up the people, to have nachas, to see a place run so well.
A lot of people don't know this about my mother. She ran facilities in Ohio for senior citizens. I think that this is God rewarding her now, being in a place where she's having such good care.
My parents really needed someone to give them the love that this place was able to give them.
Ow! Can you read my number? Attention those on Medicare with diabetes. You may be eligible for an upgraded meter.
I am tired of stabbing my fingertips to test my blood glucose. There has got to be a better way.
If you're on Medicare with diabetes, then you need to know there's a new method for checking your blood glucose. You don't need to stab your fingertips anymore. This new Embrace meter is easier to use and nearly painless. And the best news is that Diabetes Care Club will send you one of these new meters.
This new method hurts less, and I don't have to stab my fingertips anymore.
Not only can I see my number, I can hear it too.
Your blood glucose reading is 89.
There's my number.
Find out why nearly 250,000 patients have joined Diabetes Care Club.
Call Diabetes Care Club.
Shipping is free, and so is the call.
Call 1-800-521-7697.
I'm glad I did.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner, coming to you from Emunah's 18th annual commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU.
Tragic story of a young girl in the springtime of her life. Came to her homeland to reap the dream, to live her life in Palestine. Her spirit could not rest while her brothers died. Hannah, for her people, faced her destiny with daring and grace to match her flame. Gathered flowers, climbed the mountains, walked the meadows of her home. But her love for her people, her despairing for their suffering, was even more. Hannah said her spirit could not rest The light of her homeland left the promise of the green field of the sea. Leaping into danger from the sunshine to the darkness of the night. Her spirit could not rest while her brothers Hannah, for her people, is her destiny. With daring embrace the match in the flame.
Once again, we have the privilege of speaking with Cecilia Margolis. 18 years putting together the Emunah Holocaust commemoration event, tonight's Legacy of Courage at NYU. So congratulations putting off another wonderful event. And I always say to myself, you know, the Holocaust, people say, well, you go to a Holocaust, it's all the same. Truth, it's not the same. Every year it's different, refreshing, different, and just tonight was certainly unique.
Every year, that's the truth. Every year is a challenge, a creative challenge.
You don't want to do the same thing. You write the music and production.
With a new theme. That is a challenge. And hopefully, I got one this year, which was, my incentive, and I mentioned, was Chana Senesh. When I went to the exhibit in the Holocaust Museum, and I mean, you can't not be moved by her story, her courage, her daring. She gave up her life, you know, and
the freedom fighter that's you spoke about her, and you gave an award to the later on to the Raoul Wallenberg Foundation, but also these are heroes of the Holocaust. Chana Senesh, who parachuted herself from Palestine, then British controlled, to try to save Jews executed by the Nazis, and of course Raoul Wallenberg, who saved Jews and died by the Soviets.
Diplomat, businessman, who went into, Hungary, literally took it upon himself to save thousands of Jews. Pulling them off the trains, issuing Swedish passports, opening safe houses. This man literally, and at the end of the war, his big thank you was got swallowed up in the Soviet prisons, and nobody knows really what happened to him. You know, and it's such a sad story, and
he saved so many Jews.
A marvelous human being, yeah, and as well as the other people tonight. Renee Wiener, an example of a woman who was in the French Resistance, now 87 years old. She literally was carrying bags with dynamite in it. Also sacrificed her life. And there were so many heroes, Jew and non-Jew. And Kinderblock 66, you saw the documentary that's put out about people that undertook to save 900 boys in Buchenwald. Amazing story. And interesting thing about these boys, Elie Wiesel was one of these boys. So many of them became so successful in life. They really were major achievers. You know, these boys were doers, you know.
And Cecilia Margot, you are a doer too. Not only every year writing the music, putting together, choreographing all of this elements for a very successful event commemorating the Holocaust. And I want to congratulate. I think you're closer than ever to getting your music CD out, right?
Right. I'm actually really close. We're actually, you know, really. New Sinai Sound. Hopefully, you'll be out very soon. And I'm proud of it, you know.
You should be. You did a great job tonight, and the music was moving, and I spoke to the performers who also were moved not only by the music when they saw the image that were behind them during tonight's presentation for the first time, really moved them even more.
They said that the video actually enhanced their performance. You know, they were all wonderful. Itzy Spinner and Beryl Teitelbaum. And my son Adam as well did a beautiful
reading.
Speaking part. He has a great speaking voice. Very proud of him. And everybody that cooperated in this event really deserves.
So congratulations to you. Again, it's hard every year to come up with something different, unique, and you did it again. 18 years and many more years to come.
Hi. 18 years. Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with our very special broadcast originating from Emunah's 18th annual commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU.
If you've ever considered hosting your own radio or TV show, then we can help you. Talkline Communications works with individuals and groups interested in broadcasting on radio and TV. Ideal for lawyers, doctors, financial advisors, organizations, or anyone interested in broadcasting. Talkline works with various TV and radio stations in New York and around the country that lease airtime at competitive rates so we can pass on that savings to you. For more information, call us at 212-769-1925. That's 212-769-1925.
Kosher Expeditions operates year-round tours with delicious glatt kosher cuisine cooked fresh on site to over 30 of the world's most exotic destinations. Relax at our 7-year running Passover holiday adventure at our Kosher LePesach luxury beachside resort in Costa Rica. Breathtaking ocean views, exotic wildlife, inspiring lectures, children's programming, and exciting Costa Rican adventure tours during Chol Hamoed. Come tour with the most established kosher tour operator since 1994. Call Kosher Expeditions at 877-JT-KOSHER, kosherexpeditions.com, the source for exciting worldwide kosher adventure.
Are you in business? A store owner, wholesaler, or manufacturer? Do you know you may be eligible for free television and radio advertising? Millions of dollars are lost every year by businesses not taking advantage of free radio and television advertising. Don't lose out. Advertising is the lifeline of any business, large or small. For free consultation, call us in the New York area 212-769-1925. Out of New York, 866 My TV Show.
We hope you've enjoyed our very special broadcast originating from Emunah's 18th annual commemoration of the Holocaust at NYU's Kimmel Center. For more information about Emunah and the Yossi Berger Holocaust Center, please contact them at the address you see on screen. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to having you again next week, same time, same station here on the Talkline Communications Network. I'm Zev Brenner. Shalom.
Thank you for watching Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's #1 Jewish program. If you have any comments or would like more information on all of Talkline's radio and television programs nationwide, contact the Talkline Communications Network at Post Office Box 20108, Park West Station, New York, New York 10025, or call 212-769-1925. Out of New York, call 1-800-628-TALK. That's TALK. This is the Talkline Communications Network.